Let's get a heads up now on the campaign. Joining us is One Nation Leader Senator Pauline Hanson. Senator, it's always great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Look, all the polls suggest a minority Labor government is the most realistic outcome this election. It means Labor, Greens and Teals. What do you make of Peter Dutton's performance this campaign, and can the coalition turn this around with only 2 weeks to go?
I agree with you, Danica, and what you said. It's going to be one on social media, but I also agree with James. The fact is that the softer side of Peter Dutton, you know what, that's not what I'm hearing. People are saying to me, what is he like? They don't believe he's showing enough backbone and standing up for the issues. That was a case in point what happened with UK and the decision there. He couldn't come out and define what a woman was. So I'm hearing that all the time. People want to see a strong leadership and decisive policies, I should say. So there's a couple of points there as well. Their policies that they're coming out, they're not engaging with the people. A lot of people are still disengaged with the election. They're really not interested. People turn off from the election. They're not interested. You politicians are all the same. What's the whole point? So he's going to have to come out with some strong policies in this last week and a half leading up to the election, and to actually get people engaged why they should vote for the coalition government. But I'll tell people why you shouldn't vote for the Labor, Teals, Greens. If you vote for them, you will get higher taxation. They have to pay down the debt. You get higher immigration. They will bring in more people. You will have the Makarrata Commission, that's the truth telling, that's the leftover from the voice to Parliament. So that money's sitting there for them to speak on this. It'll be more division within this nation, and this Medicare scam, Medicare rollout of these super clinics will not happen because he promised it last time. We don't even have them at 24/7. So go online, have a look at this. The promises that have been made, they haven't eventuated. Your $5 tax a week tax break, that's a joke, an absolute joke. People need to really go and wake up and see what they're going to get with Albanese, and I tell you what, you will be gobsmacked, and you'll have more small businesses going under, and there will be so much division in this country.
Senator, the last news poll had One Nation's vote at 8%, its highest level in 3 years. And a breaking story in The Australian tonight, the coalition are preferencing One Nation second in most of the seats around the country. Now, remember back to 2001 when John Howard famously said that One Nation would be put last in their preferences. That's quite a turnaround in terms of how the coalition view your party. You must be very pleased with that. I guess it's a you were right all along vote, isn't it?
Well, look, I'm very pleased that they're starting to work with One Nation, which we worked closely with the Turnbull-Morrison government with the shared balance power that we had. And we actually supported good legislation, or we tried to improve it with amendments. The coalition realises that they need to work with it. We are the only Conservative party that's prepared to keep the coalition on track so they don't go too far to the left. We are the ones that are out there pushing for the family values, the Australian patriotism, that we're standing up for the values of what it is to be an Australian, and for workers, small businesses, pensioners, all these families out there, the homeless, and the coalition have picked up some of our policies. So it only makes common sense that they would actually support us and it's not giving us preferences. That's what I must tell people. It's a recommendation they are putting on their how to vote cards that they will give. They're recommending people to give One Nation their second preference after the coalition government. So I appreciate that, I really do. We cannot have another Labor Greens government, not at all.
No, especially this brand of the Greens. They're so anti-Australian. Yeah. It's an absolute... I mean, it was a disaster back in the Gillard years, but this brand of Greens, is just unbelievable. Now, you mentioned earlier, Senator, about that UK court ruling, of course, that trans women are not women. I mean, no idea why that even had to be up for debate in a court, yet here we are in 2025. Peter Dutton was asked about the outcome. This is what he said.
That's a matter, obviously, that's been before the British courts. I haven't seen the detail of the case, and it's not something that I think is front of minds at this election.
Senator, why are politicians on both sides so scared to touch this? They don't even want to comment on it.
Danica, you are very much aware that I've brought it up 6 times on the floor of Parliament about gender dysphoria, about puberty blockers and having an inquiry into it. Now, there were 6 in the initial vote, 6 from the coalition who voted against it, voted with Labor and the Greens to actually not have a Senate inquiry into this. So there are some that have infiltrated the coalition government, don't have the values and views of family unity and sticking up for women. So it's a crying shame. But Peter Dutton should have shown some leadership there. He came out in that documentary that he did and said, no, men shouldn't be playing in women's sports. He was very strong on that. What is the problem with now? Saying there is only 2 biological sexes. That's male and female. It's easy. It's easy to say it. Have no problem with it. If you're going to be leader of this nation, stand up for these. 50% of the people out there are women, 50% are men. What is wrong with saying that? We stand by women out there and we're going to stand up for their rights and their values in this country and their human rights.
Well, Senator Hanson, it begs the question, doesn't it? If our politicians won't tell us the truth about what a woman is, why would we trust them to tell us the truth about anything else?
But this is all of them. It doesn't matter whether it's coalition or whether it's the Labor side or the Greens, They're all, smoke and mirrors, and they're trying to appease those ones, those few in between. This is what's happened. It doesn't whether it's multiculturalism, immigration, Aboriginal issues, LGBTQ and all the rest of it. For Christ's sake, can we have some honesty in politics? And that's why I have always tried to do. Be upfront with the people. You know where you stand with me. Do the people want truth on the floor of Parliament or what? Stop being fed these lies and trying to get your vote for what? At the end of the day, you will pay for it. The voter will pay for this, unless you get decent people to represent you and get some backbone on the floor of our Parliament. So that's why I hope that people do stand behind One Nation, because we are truly fighting for your rights.
Senator Pauline Hanson, it's always a joy to speak to you. Happy Easter, by the way, and thanks for your time tonight.
Same to you and everyone else out there. Thank you.